Right, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to HCast episode 19. How are we all doing? In the chat, I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying yourself. We've got an action-packed Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Disney day. This is essentially all about Disney. It's a smorgasbord of utter nonsense when it comes to Disney at this point in time, because good golly gosh, they can't get their ducks in a row. So, ladies and gents, just a few quick housekeeping rules. Hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Really would appreciate it. Give the video a share. Get it out there. I'd appreciate it. If you want to join in the conversation, we've got super chats. We've already got one, which we'll get to in a minute. But super chats are a great way to include yourself in the conversation, steer the conversation a certain way, but also join in the topics as we go and support the channel. Memberships, become a member. Why? You do get benefits. And after this stream, doing a members only stream, so you can join in with that as well. Also, second channel linked in the description box where the clips go from this. I think that's it. How are you all, guys? Tom slithered in there at the last minute. I saw that.
I'm doing good. I'm ready to get hit some of these topics. Have a good stream today. Thanks to everybody in the chat for being here. Be sure to smash that like button.
Hello. Oh, there you can hear me.
Hey.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, can
Sorry, I've been having sound issues. My bad.
Yeah, you have a little bit of a chorus or an echo going on.
Shouldn't be.
Oh, okay.
Just a second there, but
yeah.
Then I'll refresh. Let me refresh.
all right. Well, how are you doing, Culture?
I'm fantastic. I was going to give him a compliment. His voice sounded very rich, but he left.
Well, he's having audio issues, so his voice doesn't sound like that normally.
I know. I was like, wow, that's really cool. Anyway,
it doesn't sound like he smoked like 100 a day.
Kinda, yeah. I'm wonderful. It's been a wonderful day. I'm very blessed to be here, and I get to see John Wick, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So it drops this weekend.
Well, you're all bloody lucky, because if I wasn't doing this stream, I would be going to watch it tonight, but I can't. So I'll be watching it tomorrow and then giving you my review tomorrow, ladies and gents.
Sweet.
Which takes us off nicely, actually, to our first super chat of the day, which is from Macaulay Gallagher for £5. So thank you so much. It honestly goes a long way. It literally helps keep the lights on. So thank you so much. But John Wick 4 was awesome. Seeing Hiroyuki Sanada and Donnie Yen on screen together was a real treat. Hope you enjoy it. I really can't wait for this film. I was going to try and figure out a way to be able to watch it today, but I just didn't get around to it. You guys have seen the amount of content being released. And then there's like my normal life on top of that as well. So it's quite busy. But yeah, Hiroyuki Sanada, that's the main draw. And Keanu Reeves, that's the main draw for me. So I really can't wait. Hiroyuki, Sanada's a very underrated actor in the West. I think he's brilliant. I cannot wait to see what he's got in store for his character in this film. Who are you looking forward to seeing, Culture?
I think Yen. I think, and of course Keanu. I'm sorry. I mean, Keanu is just singularly gravitas personified. I mean, that guy is just a focal
charisma.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, everything he does has weight now. And maybe that comes with age, because I mean, some of his early stuff was rather forgettable. I mean, the original Parenthood movie, so on and so forth. Yeah. But he just is. He's a magnet. He's a draw. And he eats the screen. I mean, and again, now you're going to put him and Yen in the same room, right? And we get the last performance. Yeah.
And Sanada.
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, please don't misunderstand. But I'm just saying is like, I mean, the Iron Chef, right? But anyway, and then you look at the very last performance we get to see of Lance Reddick, and I think that that's going to be rather impactful upon me, because I've always thought he was an incredible actor. So I'm excited all around.
Great. Yeah. JS Pena for $1.99, Late and Grooming. All right. Rhino 1931 says, not to immediately derail the upcoming topics, but did you see the God of War inspired TMNT game that's apparently being made? I had no idea this was a thing.
I mean, neither. That's news to me.
Is this the last Ronin thing that they were? I heard about today. I didn't get a chance to look into it though.
Oh, you're a bit loud there, Tom. Just bring it down a fraction, just a little bit. But no, it's pretty good. All in. Sound quality is really good though, dude.
No, this has been Google the last few days. It keeps resetting all my sound settings.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've not seen this game, not heard of it. Anyone else?
I haven't either, but I'm curious now.
Yeah, and if it's based on the
Really?
last, if it's based on,
Yeah,
the last
I
game,
love God of War, and I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So combining
Yeah,
those two,
maybe
it
it'll
at least has me interested in checking it out. At least.
True. Didn't Resident Evil Remake 4? Resident Evil 4 Remake, did that drop today? That was today, wasn't it? It was tomorrow.
No, I think it was today.
Was it? I should have got on that. God
Not
damn
sure.
it. That, fairness, that might actually be a members and patron only game, FYI. So if you want to join the membership, there you
Oh
go.
no, it's tomorrow. It drops
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
it's got to
I'll
be
get
the
on
month.
that then. Deadfly from Moon sent a £5 super sticker. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, one and all. Thank you. Do genuinely appreciate it. It goes a long way. Really does help out. Again, as you're dropping in here, please do hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Mucho gracias would be great. So also a few other things. We've got a Martin Stallard membership, gifted 1 membership. So thank you so much. That's crazy. Thank you. And also Olaf Van Es gifted 1 membership as well. So we're getting their memberships up. Epic. Absolutely epic. Oh, so I think realistically, first things first, we've got to talk about Victoria Alonso because this is one of many. This is new information that's coming out. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's now essentially been confirmed that she was fired for all intents and purposes. At least here it is that she was fired, came down from on high. Alan Bergman. Are we familiar with this story, guys? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because this is a lot of the same stuff I think I was saying the other day, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. So, just to get to the real meat of it all, it comes down here. 8 days later, she was fired. So that's the confirmation she was fired. Essentially, it's not confirmation. It's from sources at Variety, right? So 3 individuals familiar with the matter told Variety that she was fired. The shake-up came as a surprise to many in show business and within the vast Marvel comic book fandom. Apparently, I don't think anyone in the comic book fandom, people surprised by this. I don't think they were. Who the fuck cares in the Marvel comic book fandom? They didn't give a shit who's in charge. Anyway, Alonso's dismissal has raised numerous questions about the behind-the-scenes workings at the prized content engine with them. And with them, another unfavorable news cycle as Disney CEO Bob Iger attempts to stabilize its parent company amid economic unrest. This is the thing we've been saying for a while. This is such bad PR. It's truly bad PR, genuinely. It just looks bad. So while the cause of Alonso's termination is unclear, the sources said the decision was made by a consortium, including human resources, Disney's legal department, and multiple executives, including Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman and Alonso's longtime boss and Marvel chief creative officer Kevin Feige felt mired in an impossible situation and ultimately did not intervene. One source added, Alonso was blindsided, another insider added. Now, I would say, I'd go so far as to say that if human resources are involved, legal department, there's something going on behind the scenes there, which ain't looking too good. I don't know if anyone else has any sort of speculation, any information on that, but human resources being involved, the legal department could simply just be because they're firing her. But it's a bit sus. Tom?
Well, there has been a lot of complaints about her behavior. I've been comparing it to like Ellen and whatnot, to where now that she's no longer there, a lot of people are not afraid to speak their mind. And so maybe there has been a lot of complaints to HR. I mean, again, if there's a lot of wokies, they will turn on their own, that they won't hesitate. So
I think widely being known as being a kingmaker when it comes to visual effects houses and things like that. I think that probably wasn't received well either in an industry that's starting to not work with Disney anymore. You have major houses that are turning down opportunities to work for them, and the entirety of the company, not just the MCU. So
Yeah. So sources familiar with Marvel pointed to the tremendous pressure that the unit has been under over the past few years to deliver compelling content, not just to theaters, but also in the form of new streaming shows intended to bolster Disney Plus. So they're sort of pieing that off over there as part of the issue. The breakneck distribution schedule, a product of the pandemic and the need to constantly feed Disney Plus, was not of Alonso's making. Marvel was far from the only studio tasked with delivering feature-level content. Blah, 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 blah. But they say it was Alonso's job to get each of those titles through Marvel's gargantuan post-production process. And by summer 2022, cracks began to show, which is where all these... This is what we were saying already on the stream, was that their VFX have been shit for a while. Just go back and watch some of the movies. Hulkbuster, Endgame, terrible. But you never had complaints from the VFX artists. You never had the outspoken nature of the VFX artists. So that's the not good part. That's where you go, oh, what's going on here then? Yeah. And so we've heard all of this stuff already about the Kingmaker being blacklisted, but there's new information. So one visual effects artist recently told Variety that the biggest issue for them was Marvel's inability to provide clear guidelines. The show I was on really struggled because it was an established character whose powers they were reconceiving for the MCU.
It's Marvel.
Yeah.
Do you think? Is that what?
I'm almost guaranteed.
I think
they did change it all, didn't they? Actually,
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. And then Marvel doesn't figure shit out beforehand.
Yes.
Well, we know that because they
glaring
right up to the last minute.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Now, there was this statement from a senior VFX artist, but this is not them actually speaking specifically with Marvel. All they say is the idea of a very senior executive terrifying rank and file artist, person reports, feels a bit off. It doesn't to me.
No.
That doesn't feel off at all to me.
No, especially, the type of position and the type of ilk she was. You just expected it. She's always had to present herself in an overly masculine way. So, oftentimes, in order to have people perceive you as such, you have to act just ridiculous and abuse your underlings, et cetera, et cetera. Believe me, I've been in corporate situations where that's occurred. Yeah. So, you look around and it's unsurprising. I mean, Tom brought up the best example of that, Ellen. I mean, Ellen was revealed to be what she was, and she's not the only one. And oftentimes, when you reflect back on, people that are in positions of power, you'll find that they all have these same kind of character flaws,
Yeah. Well, it sort of comes with the territory in some regard.
Yeah.
Now, I found this part very interesting because this is the first time a trade has actually acknowledged this. Still, the drumbeat that something is rotten in the state of Marvel Studios only grew louder with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a film that finished shooting over a year before it was due in theaters and still weathered repeated criticism for generic visual effects that looked like CGI glop and were very flat and cruddy looking. Even more critical, the movie has grossed $463 million globally to date, the worst performance of the Ant-Man franchise, and a figure that means it will struggle to break even.
That's being kind.
It's not going to break even. But this is the first time a major trade is acknowledging this, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's pretty bloody big.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying the other day. Is they're getting to the point where they can't even deny, because Ant-Man and Wasp is going to lose them anywhere from $100 to $200 million. Right.
It's over 100 million. It's not. I think you're right, Tom. It's somewhere in that ballpark. But they haven't even crossed $500 million globally, and go back just a few weeks ago. Go back into February, towards the end of February, right when the film opened, and they were like, "Well, this film's gonna eke out 500+ million globally." No, it's not. I mean, we were calling that early on. I think you even mentioned it, Nate, very much after it released. It was struggling.
Yeah, honestly, the first weekend I was like, this is a bomb. It's not. It won't break even. I said it straight from the off. I was like, this is a bomb because they're front loaded. Anyone with two brain cells that follows this space could have predicted that it was going to bomb massively because they're front loaded. They always taper off. You only had to see what was coming out subsequently. It was fucked.
Yeah.
It was, excuse my language, for lack of a better word, but it was absolutely fucked from day one, from its opening weekend. If it didn't hit the numbers that it needed to hit, day first weekend, it was never going to hit them. It was never going to do it. And people always go because people are like, oh, yeah, you think everything's a bomb. I'm like, yeah, but 9 times out of 10, I am right.
Well,
right here.
It comes down to what was more should be referred to as like effective box office, right? Because when we look at these films, there's a lot of FOMO there and a lot of desire not to be spoiled. And I'm having a big bomber fly over my head right now, so I apologize. But the idea of not getting spoiled for a film is usually drives that front end for the box office. So seeing these massive fall offs are predictable. When we see these films, by the way, nobody's gonna freak out and not go see John Wick 4 because they get some spoilers because they want to see the spectacle for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They're there to watch the action.
Yeah,
they're there to watch a throwback action film.
Whereas with the MCU, Star Wars, things like that, the outcome is the thing you don't want spoiled. Right. And so if you find out all the little things, they're spoiled for you on the front end, that's when you suffer and you don't really feel inspired to see the product any longer. So that's why you see a 68%, a 70% fall off from the box office. And then they're predictable like clockwork. And I'm sure you know this and many other people in our sphere because we all kind of talk about it.
Yep.
Right now with MCU, they do about 2.5 times legs. That's what they do. 2.5 to 2.8 legs. They don't have Top Gun legs. They don't have any of that. The box office has to be front loaded because they don't have any length to sit on. That's it. Yeah. They can go for 12 weeks and never reach, an apex similar to any other film that doesn't have that FOMO quality, that doesn't have that fear of being spoiled. And that's it. So they're very predictable. And that's why it's like a Swiss watch. So when you saw, and I know this is true, Nate, when you saw that this film was doing what it did on its opening weekend, you knew automatically this thing was toast. I think we all did.
Yeah. We spoke about it, reported on it. Yeah, it was, But so Victoria Alonso, done. This is the first domino falling of Disney. What do we think? Obviously, we kind of covered this already. This is more that she was fired. This is the thing that she was fired. I mean, Nick, you've stayed pretty quiet here. Speak up.
Well,
Nick.
Well, the thing that has me interested is what's going to happen to a lot of these projects that she was part of, because you got Echo, Ironheart, Agatha, Covenant of Chaos, the X-Men 97 show. In these projects, and it just came out today, X-Men 97 is now delayed. It was supposed to drop this year. And from what I understand, all the episodes and all that's pretty much done. But now, all of a sudden, after she gets fired, now it's delayed. Why is it delayed? It was reported that it was.
She's an executive producer on them. So if they fired her, they're going to have to work out some form of severance package.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if they're going to change any of these projects or cancel them altogether, or I don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is probably going to start getting delayed now or outright canceled, and I'll be curious to see kind of what the fallout backlash is for a lot of the content that they were going to be having coming out.
That I agree. With Tom, do you have anything to add to that specifically?
Yeah, no, I think Nick is right. I mean, we've already heard from Bob Iger that they're going to be cutting back on a lot of projects, and I would imagine that this is kind of the beginning of that, and a lot of the stuff that she was probably behind or championing might be getting the X. Now, we've been saying this for the last few days. Just because she's gone doesn't mean the woke is going away, because we got to remember.
Oh, yeah.
All the same people that were involved are still there before. And I still am not convinced that the main and big main... that's one thing that this article overlooks, really, is that Reedy Creek deal. I think that is one of the main reasons why she's gone, is because she was one of the big proponents of that. And when it was all said and done, it wasn't only, 2-3 weeks ago when that came down. Between that and just the Marvel stuff alone, I mean, that's enough. But the Reedy Creek incident, where she was out there, and I don't know if you've seen the video or not, but she's talking about how she sat Bob Chapek down for 45 minutes and all that business, and we don't get to choose our family, and Disney should be concentrated on all this and that and the other. So clearly she's one of the people where a lot of this stuff is coming from. And if she's going to talk like that in public, I can't imagine what she's like in private. I mean, I joked about, me trying to sit Andre down for a 45-minute talk and seeing how well that would go. Yeah, I don't get this entitlement out of these people. I mean, I get it. She's been in the industry for a while. I'm not saying she doesn't have some pull or power, but it sounds like she pulled too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, yeah, that whole, her sort of wading into that and dragging Disney, Bob Chapek through, a political mire that he didn't need to get involved in. FYI, he didn't need to anyway. He could have just told her to fuck off, which is what he should have done. But they need a scapegoat somewhere, and she will be one of them.
Yep.
So, yeah, fun.
Yeah.
I sat Bob Chapek down. Come on now, behave.
For 45 minutes, no less.
Can you imagine his big, bold egghead and the veins thumping through it as he's listened to this stupid woman?
Well, we saw his video. He looked like a scolded child.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's such a... God, I wish he had some... That guy should have had some balls. He really should have done. For goodness sake. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, anyway, I thought that would be a nice opener, sort of rounds out the news that we covered on Tuesday. Guys, we've got 460 viewers here. Hit that thumbs up button. Please do. It really goes a long way. And obviously, the more you interact with this stream, the more YouTube's likely to tell you in future that we are streaming. I've heard good things that they're finally sending notifications out. Maybe, cross my fingers a little bit there. But yeah, please do hit that thumbs up button. You want to join in the conversation of anything that we're covering today? Super chats are the way to do it. Obviously, at the end of each topic, I go through the super chats. I'm just about to now. So if you want to join in the conversation or steer the conversation anywhere you want, super chats, guys. So we did have Al Humphreys been a member for 26 months. So thank you so much. We got Jacob Bowman became a new member at supporter level 1. And again, thank you so much for that. But we do have some super chats here. Let me just scroll back up. So, wow. Should have like some
you got a few. I got a little bit of that, I think.
Rob Hatherley for £10 says, good evening, just on my way home from seeing John Wick 4. No spoilers. It's absolutely amazing. Worth every... That's nice. A spoiler. Rob, you spoiled it.
You should be prosecuted.
It's a spoiler. You should be in jail.
No, people legit say that when I put it in the video title of this movie sucks or this movie's good. Like, you spoiled the movie for me. I'm like, what?
Let me get this straight. Do you understand what the word review means? Or
honestly. So Rob says it's worth every penny. Seeing it at new showcase cinema near me. Hope you're all well. Grab a drink on me. Thank you so much. I mean, lucky Culture is a lucky boy and is going to go watch this after the stream. I myself have to wait till tomorrow to watch this, but
I gotta wait till Saturday.
I cannot wait to see it. And I got some good reviews coming up for you guys, just as an insight. So one review that's dropping tomorrow, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yeah, I've watched it. All right, I've got thoughts on that. But I edited that review today. I can't release it because obviously there's been a wealth of other videos coming out. So that'll be released tomorrow for you guys. But thank you so much, Rob. Really do appreciate that, my dude.
I love Rob's little picture icon of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan.
FF7 might have been one of the best, right?
Oh, God, yeah, for sure. The remake, they did a really good job on the remake. And then Crisis Core remake or remaster that they just dropped in December. And then, of course, the next part coming out. Winter of this year. I can't wait.
Nice. Neats Witch for €5 says, are there any new Disney shows that are coming that you guys think could be halfway decent? Disney shows, Marvel shows, Lucasfilm shows. What do we think, ladies and gents? Hotwell. Gents, the panel. What do we think?
Um,
Disney shows. I don't know of anything that has captured my attention.
And that's just it. We don't even know what's coming anymore because of all everything being.
We don't even know that Skeleton Crew is going to make it. You know, we don't
like a lot of these shows have been canceled or
and films are. I mean, you got Skeleton Crew, you got Acolyte. Acolyte's supposedly shooting in the UK right now, or is wrapping up shooting in the UK.
Yeah, I've seen enough evidence to make me believe that, but yeah. So
no, I'm not saying it's not.
No, I know, but there's a big debate going on about it. I know.
Oh, I know.
No, it is. It's not even a debate. Like it is. People debate.
Same with the Acolyte.
Yeah, it's why. Yeah, Acolytes. It's widely reported that Acolytes.
Well, that's what I was talking about was Acolyte. But yeah,
it's photos of them on the set.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're faking that, Mr. H.
Who is saying this?
I'm not going to name names. There's a subsect of YouTubers and group of people who believe this, that there's some big, huge conspiracy theory about it.
Yeah. And a menace.
No,
I'm not going to say
who then.
So,
but I know who Tom's talking about, or at least one of them.
Most of them don't need our attention. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right, good. Never mind. It's fucking shooting. People are talking bollocks. All right, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what's happening?
Fat Steven Segal says, "Hello there. In private, I cry and eat cheesecake." Legend.
You do that too. We could do that together, Steven.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't be so alone.
Weird cheesecake.
Just
porno coming on.
We just fight over the cheesecake.
Just remind Steven he owes Tom $500.
He does still owe me $500.
Anyway, Fat Steven Segal for $2.20 Canadian dollars. So they're actually fake dollars, but fine. I pulled too much. Then I tried ringing that out.
That is in response to me saying that Alonzo pulled too hard.
And we've got a £10 super sticker from Al Humphreys. Thank you so much, my dude. Mucho gracias. Really do appreciate that. Thank you one and all.
It's a superhero pair, by the way. It's like,
wow. Legend. I can't see them on this.
I put it on the private chat. I try to do that with
the
stickers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Martin Stallard for £2 says, "Do you think there could be a Luigi's Mansion film?" Oh, so we're talking about Mario, aren't we? Mario is looking like it's going to do amazing.
It's going to blow up at the box office.
Do we think there'll be a Luigi's Mansion film? I think actually, I genuinely think Nintendo. All bets are off. If Mario does well, I think Nintendo will probably try and go all in on just a Nintendo universe.
I can say that I've heard from a few people now that they are a lot farther along on a Loki project, or not Loki, Jesus, Zelda and Link project than we know of already.
Yep,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And the buzz is that they are getting ready for a lot of money with this Mario movie. Like the I don't even know where the ceiling is on the opening right now, because they were projecting 85 culture, and then they said it's going to go up probably.
Yeah,
that's just for the opening weekend in the U.S.
There
85 million.
There are people stretching that now to 105 on domestic open here in the States.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it.
It's going to be more than that. I think the sky's the limit here. I think that while John Wick is going to test the bounds of a rated R film for an open, post global crisis.
Wick also has the issue of its running time too, but yeah.
Well, true, and theater turnovers, but you're gonna. I think Mario. Would it surprise me if it did 140 opening domestic here in the States?
No, that would not surprise me at all.
Wouldn't surprise me either. So I think it's a 4-quadrant film, which means it gets all the demos, and I think that it's going to. I think it's going to perform amazing. I think it's going to be $1 billion film.
Well, here's what I'm going to say.
Easily $1 billion film.
Sorry, I think it might actually. It might even. What's the biggest animated film of all time? What's the biggest opening? I think it was Frozen 2 with 130 domestic and globally. Remember right? Something around there. I'm willing to bet Mario's gonna beat it.
Yeah,
I think Mario's gonna be the biggest opening for an animated film ever.
Yeah.
And I think something to consider about Mario is it's opening in spring, trailing into summer. If this does well consistently, cinemas will just keep it in They'll just keep it in,
There's no
and it'll
reason
have
to push back.
legs.
Yeah.
It'll have legs. It'll keep going. It's a short film. It's an hour and a half.
Yep.
So there's literally no like they can reduce it down. They could cut their screens in half, as the weeks go by, and it's still going to take in loads of money.
Yeah.
Well, consider this. Oh, sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say real quick, Tom was right. It's Frozen 2 had the largest animated opening weekend at 358.5.
Yeah, I think it did 130
million.
in the U.S. and then the rest is outside. But yeah, no, I think Mario can do that.
Yeah,
I think it can. Because I was looking, because this is what, I don't know if Culture was on the show, but like 2 months ago, I think it was now, or a month ago, we were just running through, like, I think Variety or somebody had put out, the rest of the movies that are coming out this year. The highly anticipated ones. And we ran through it, and by the end of the list, I'm like, I think Mario Brothers is going to be the biggest movie of the year. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that can compete with it right now. Not on that level.
It was Andre that predicted that here on this stream last.
Well, he probably stole it from me, because I said it a while ago. No, he agreed with me actually. Yeah,
and I think
Tom said you stole stuff from him.
I said it first.
Yeah.
Look, and I said that I think that's not the only film that's going to do well. I think you guys are forgetting a little thing called Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
I know, but I'm not so sure on that.
I wore my Tom shirt yesterday, Tom. Respect the Tom.
I know that a lot of people think that the success of Top Gun is going to translate into Mission Impossible, but we have yet to see.
We'll see, won't we?
Plus, it's more geared for adults and stuff. The Mario movie's geared for everybody.
Exactly,
Yeah, so
and Yellow Flash just said that in the chat.
Yeah. Neat Switch for €2. Sorry, says any Nintendo live action planned. I don't think they're going to run the risk of that again. They've been burned massively on live action, and it obviously just feeds into what we've been talking about with Super Mario. I don't think they'll tempt fate with that. Not for a while. I could be wrong, but that's my sort of gut feeling on that. They'll sort of try to build out all of this stuff. In terms of the animation, they'll
maybe something like Metroid that would lend itself to that, but otherwise, I don't see why. Yeah.
Well, that's why Fat Steven says, "Give us a Metroid movie, and Pixar will cry failure."
Yeah, if that's animated, yeah.
And if this Mario movie blows up, which I think it will, I think that's something that people are going to be able to look forward to. Metroid movie, freaking Mega Man movie, Zelda Link. The possibilities for them to have all this in one universe and maybe do crossovers and all that is huge. And so it's a moneymaker.
You're right, Nick. We have a perfect storm right now, and we need to recognize it because Universal has Super Mario World, Super Mario Land in their theme parks, California, and then Florida here with Epic Universe. You don't think Universal's going to go, everything all in when they're going to dive into a Nintendo universe? Mind you, that's where this is coming from, right? Where's this film coming from?
Universal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the whole point, right? This is a concerted effort.
Yeah,
this is a concerted effort to make this big, and we are not. I think everybody's instinct here is 100% right. I think the things that you've heard is 100% right. I think this is going to be massive. I think not just Mario. I think they're going to take Nintendo and drop it hard in the United States, and I think that'll be where the Texas park that they're going to build. I think that'll be heavily weighted into Nintendo, and I think that we've only just begun here. We've only just begun.
And talk about perfect timing. I mean, right now you got Marvel in the shitter, you got Star Wars in the shitter, you got all these properties and stuff that are huge that has such a huge fan base that people are turning away from. More and more people every single day. And then Nintendo comes out, could blow this thing out of the water and get all those fans to jump on board with them.
So it's not even just that. What you're saying is 100% right. But additionally, you have the success and the confidence builder on the back of it of The Last of Us. So video game adaptations being successful, viewerships being high. The Last of Us finale competed with the Oscars, for fuck's sake. That's crazy. Right? That's madness. I'm not saying it's good or anything like that, but it's successful at the very least. And then, they're just going all in. You also have the fact that there's an element of superhero fatigue. People are kind of done with capes and heroes. DC are in a shambles at this point in time. You've just got Shazam, a huge flop, 125 million, and they've not even hit $100 million. That's it.
Terrible.
Perfect storm. Literally the perfect storm for another genre of connected universe or franchise, whatever, to come in and go, here you go. And the best way to do it is what they're doing here, is they've just gone, here's one movie. They're not gone, we're making a whole slate. They've just gone, here's one film. They obviously have plans in the back end, right? But they're not going, again, that's part of the issue with these Marvel films is you have to watch every single bloody one and people check out eventually. And that is what the people were doing. They don't want to watch all the TV series or this other nonsense. And they don't want to watch a movie that's a trailer for another fucking movie, right? So you just drop one film and go, here you go, there's the film. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
People go in droves. So yeah, perfect. Absolute perfect storm.
Yeah, and Uptown 2525 makes a good point talking about Sonic kicking this off because it did well. Sonic and Sonic 2. And they actually listened to the fans when they backlashed about the CGI of Sonic. They said, all right, we heard you. We're going to go back and change it, which gave a lot of good faith to all the fans. And
never underestimate good faith. Because that's what Star Wars has lost. There's all the good faith from the fans. And they're wrecked now. So never underestimate good faith. You buy good faith. It's not hard to do either. You just go, oh yeah, we listen to you. Not, you're toxic. Shut up, you bully.
Yeah.
No one's bullying you. You're a Hollywood studio, for fuck's sake. No, it's bullying you.
Well, and
racist, sexist, man babies.
Well, look, if you give audiences what they want, you make money and you get no pushback.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Look at that. You listen to the consumer, the ones which actually hold the purse strings. Like, for goodness sake. Oh dear. Let's shuffle on a few more super chats, then we'll get on to our next topic, which is a Star Wars one. But thank you so much for all the. See, this is what I mean. This is getting you guys involved in the conversation. It spurs great sort of deviations and new topics. So super chats are a really good way to do that. Get yourself involved and support the show. Thank you so much.
He got his money's worth out of that super chat.
Yeah, well, but there was other ones, Rolled into it, and this is what I mean. It works. It really helps. It's good for you guys. You get interesting topics going off as well. So I didn't think to cover that. I've got my topics to cover today on the panel, but that was a good one. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Also, we've got 490 people here. Please do hit that thumbs up button. It really does go a long way. It does help out. Magitech Mags for $5 says,
Mags.
Culture, your weave is extraordinarily fluffy today. Nick, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7. Also, hi Tom, Mr. H, sending some dough for the lights. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got to finish my Final Fantasy 6 playthrough. I still haven't completed that game, but I love Final Fantasy 7.
Nice. And yeah, we got Yellow Flash. Where's Yellow Flash?
He's in there somewhere.
Yellow Flash here. Nice to have you in, dude.
This is what I was saying, yeah.
Yeah. Mexican Iron Man for $20 says ticket
Mike.
and popcorn donation, Mr. H, to see John Wick 4.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Sweet.
My dude. Mucho gracias. That's my.
Yeah, hopefully I can slip away
Mexican
this weekend and see it. I don't know.
Magitech Mags for $2 says Mario coming out around Easter is a big bonus too.
Oh,
yes,
that's on
Easter
purpose.
weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easter weekend.
So let's talk about this. It's getting an early release, an unusual Wednesday release on the 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can see it. There are midnight shows, I think, on Tuesday. You can actually see a preview midnight show on a Tuesday. Well, which obviously be Wednesday morning, but you can actually see this early, and people are, and it's a global simultaneous release.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's very unheard of.
We're gonna get massive box office, folks, and
that just means they have confidence in it big time.
They do. Yeah. When they released that they were going to drop it in China 2 days before you were going to get it in all the other markets. All the other markets are like, what? And so they brought everybody to the 5th. And I don't think
they should have done anyway.
Well, they did, but it's going to be great because it gives me room to see it before I come on shows like this and be like, this is great, or whatever. So
well, that'll be one of the things we all have to watch. To be
we drive the box office, and I think Hollywood realizes it. I mean, Nate, you talk to 100,000 people. Yellow Flash talks to hundreds of thousands of people. Midnight's Edge talks to hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, I talk to like 10 people, but it's the fact is we can influence the box office. I think that the studios are figuring that out. It's like these shills aren't doing it for us, right? They're not. That's not working. The trades. Yeah. The trades are just for Hollywood. I mean, we get stories from them, but they're really written for just the Hollywood folks. So that is what. Anyway, I'll shut up.
No, you're right. Yeah. Fat Steven says last first show was literally a dumpster fire. All in all, I don't entirely disagree, and I don't entirely agree, but that is probably a topic for another day, quite frankly. Mecha J for $2 says, I hope for a Kirby movie if Mario does well. Yeah, Kirby. Could that work? I don't know if that could work. Anyway, any thoughts on a Kirby movie?
Yeah, I'm not sure that has enough of a plot, but then again.
Yeah, true. Well, you make one, don't you? You force one into existence. I'd love to see them try. Let's put it that way. That'd be.
I mean, all Kirby does is eat stuff. I mean,
yeah, true. Speaking about eating stuff, Fat Steven says Hogwarts Legacy, but with Mario equals Mario RPG 2023. That was the best segue ever. Tommy Review spends $5. Says good day for 4. John Wick 4 and Resident Evil 4 out the same day. So is Resident Evil 4 is it out today then? Were we wrong?
No, yeah, you can go see it today. Like I could go see it.
No, Resident Evil 4.
No, Resident Evil
4. Wait a minute. It's on the release calendar for tomorrow. I thought it was a Friday release. I could be wrong. I mean, I looked it up.
I don't know. I can't wait to play the game and watch the movie tonight. So, yes, the movie, epic. For those becoming members of the channel, Resident Evil 4 will probably become a members-only game playthrough. And then when I've completed it, it'll go to everyone on the channel. So, become a member if you want access to that. Right. Ladies and gents, speaking of companies losing bad faith and just, being bumholes, Rian Johnson, apparently his trilogy's been scrapped by Disney exclusive.
No,
nice surprise.
Oh, what?
Wait a minute. Do we take a time machine back to 2020 or what here?
I know.
Honestly, well, Nick, you've covered this already. Do you want to spin off this one, because this is kind of new to me anyway?
Yeah, so basically, according to the sources over there, it's officially been scrapped by Disney. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't scrapped way before now, but it's apparently word's gotten out that it is for sure not happening, and that's basically what they talk about in the article here. That it's just another project at Lucasfilm that's not actually happening. It was announced and talked about, and then of course it, like most everything else that they announce, it doesn't ever happen.
Literally everything they announce.
Yeah.
It's like a 0.5% chance of actually happening.
Yeah. Boom, canceled.
God. So they say, according to our sources, it looks like Disney and Lucasfilm have decided to pull the plug on Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy. This shouldn't come as much of a surprise, mainly because there's been so little movement on his trilogy for a while now. Yeah, this was dead in the water for years, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
The last I've heard, Disney have given Rian Johnson's trilogy the axe.
I mean, yeah, exactly. This has been... His BS nonsense that he's been saying, I still got it. I still am going to make it. Yeah, bull crap. If they wanted you to make it, you'd be working on that instead of your Knives Out sequels first.
Yeah.
I don't know, with those paydays, man. Those paydays are insane.
And why would he give a crap about Star Wars after that?
Oh, no, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, sorry. I've added to your point.
I'm agreeing with you, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the paydays are mad. One, how is Netflix paying for it all? That's crazy. But the paydays are insane.
Again, that was a first look deal that he's actually delivering on. So that's the way it's supposed to work, right? They write you a check as you make the product. That's why J.J. Abrams has gotten almost no money from Warner Brothers. That's an entirely other side. But here's the cool thing about what he's doing at Netflix. He's actually pushing them to do more theatrical releases, which eventually Netflix is going to be doing. I think we talked about it before.
Yeah, we talked about it on the last stream with about like a studio space and everything. So it makes perfect sense. Now, this source also went on to add about Rian Johnson, says it's been problematic for Disney and Lucasfilm as they love Johnson and his work, but they just cannot get past the fans' poor reaction to The Last Jedi.
Yeah, 100%.
What about The Rise of Skywalker as well, then? fuckface. Like, Jesus.
Oh, I mean,
All the damage was already done by then.
Yeah, is J.J. Abrams on board to do anything for Disney at this point? Not that I know
Hell
of.
no.
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Both parties are in agreement that the best thing to do is to move on and part ways. Well, yeah.
Well,
I
and he
mean,
kind of set us up for this because in one of his last interviews, you know, he was talking about being so busy with other things. And that's what I had said a long time ago. I said, sooner or later, we're going to hear about it from time to time, but at some point, somebody's going to talk to Ryan Johnson, and it's going to be like 2024, 2025, and they're going to ask him again about these Star Wars movies, and he's going to be like, well, maybe, but I find myself wanting to make more movies like Knives Out. And that'll be the end of it. Nobody will bring it up again because it's been dead for 5 years now.
Yeah, I guess that he's playing the waiting game on it, then, isn't he? He's trying to. They're trying to. But that's essentially the same playbook that they did with Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins. They just waited it out, and then people were like, "I'm not bothered." Yeah, they're cancelled. All right then.
Yep.
No one's bothered about anything coming out of Star Wars at this point in time. Like, for goodness sake. They're just not. It's just there's nothing to get excited about here.
Well, did you see my post yesterday, Mr. H, about what I mean when I say that KK has fired more people than she's hired? Okay, yeah, because
well, no, because you're right.
I retweeted it.
It's not. Like it would be different if. So yeah, Kathleen Kennedy has literally fired more people than she's hired because it's not a revolving door. You know, she's not replacing people. She's just hiring them, firing them, but the project's not getting made. So just the numbers just keep.
I know
going
people
up.
used to laugh at me when I said that. It's like I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. She has literally now fired more people than she's hired. We've had 5 Star Wars projects, and twice that many people have been fired.
Pretty much.
And their projects have not gotten off the ground.
And she still has a job.
How?
Yeah.
Oh,
we don't know.
Me.
I mean, think about it like this: if she was like a foreman on a construction site, and she literally kept firing people that were working there faster than they could build stuff. Exactly. This building that should have been done in a few months is still being built.
That's a great analogy.
No.
That is, firing them faster than they can build stuff. That is a brilliant analogy. But not only that, they're taking the material with them as well, right? So
in the case of Snyder,
Well, I just mean like leading to the degradation of the property itself. You know, they're taking more. They're leaving the job site, as per your analogy, in a worse state than when they found it. Because that's what Lucasfilm is.
Yeah, because they left whatever it was they were working on half built.
Yeah.
And half worked on or whatever, so it looks like a jagged mess.
God damn, what a great analogy that is. So basically, surprising no one, Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy's done. There you go. If that's news, you've got the news. I don't think it's news.
Well, to extend the analogy I just made, basically the problem you have is the foundation of this whole building, which would be the Star Wars sequel trilogy, is one big massive blob mess to where it's not even level or anything anybody can really build on, right? So
yeah, it's just such nonsense. Magitech Mags chimes in there for $5, says for Ryan Johnson news, the meme of "oh no" anyway comes to mind. I mean, literally is that. How has she still got a job? There must be something she's got on them.
She's got to have some dirt on Iger or some board members or something.
It has to be. It really has to be.
Like pictures, video.
You just binned off Victoria Alonso for nothing that she's done public, you know? Like Kathleen Kennedy, there's a lawsuit against Lucasfilm at the moment.
Yeah.
From the ex-Acolyte producer. I mean, that's not a small thing. That's pretty fucking big.
And it's been failed project, canceled project. You know, and that has to be costing them money. Like literally, and I think I said this on the last stream also.
Oh, yes.
Lucasfilm is making Disney money?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, because just to go off of what you're saying, Nick, they have to pay each writer every time.
Yep.
And it's not cheap. I mean, you're talking a couple $100,000 sometimes, if not. And then any pre-production work that's done. So any previs, any art that's done, any of that kind of stuff. You have to pay anybody else who's like the producers and stuff for their time and all that crap. And why do you think this one chick is suing them?
Yeah.
What's her
Not
name?
being paid.
Yeah. And then they give her the pittance of $5,000 to say, here, go away.
And that's what screwed them. That's what screwed them.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Here's that list of the things that have never been completed or were because like the only completed Disney Star Wars films that went off without a hitch were Force Awakens and Last Jedi, basically.
God damn.
Because as you see here, Rogue One, Gareth Edwards got shit canned and they brought in Tony Gilroy. Josh Trank was supposed to make a Boba Fett movie. He didn't make it. Lord Miller got shit canned after 88 days, and then Ron Howard came in. Colin Trevorrow, of course, was supposed to make the third film, didn't. Stephen Daldry was supposed to be working on Obi-Wan, didn't. James Mangold, even though he likes to give us revisionist history, there's more than enough proof out there that he was attached to a Boba Fett project at one time.
Yeah.
Benioff and Weiss also were supposed to be making a trilogy, gone. Patty Jenkins, we know she's gone. J.D. Dillard, also gone. Kevin Feige and Michael Waldron, also gone. And then you have the Schrodinger project, which is now Stephen Knight has signed up to supposedly work on this post-episode 9 film or whatever the hell they're saying there.
Yeah.
And to me right now, that I call it Schrodinger's movie because I ain't convinced it's going to happen. But there you go. Just going off of what Nick said. If this Steve Knight is really coming in to write this, there's another writer that's being paid. And he's not a small-time writer either. So I'm sure he's making a couple $100,000 for his rewrite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So you can add him onto the list. Ron Johnson onto the list.
You could add Ryan Johnson onto that list now if that's true. Yeah.
absolute nonsense. Goodness me. So we will actually touch on that as our next topic. We've got some super chats to get through first. T-Nail89, aka Dislikes Puns, says, not related to anything, and it's probably something only Mr. H would appreciate, but did you hear that they brought back the lion in 40K? Good news story. I did not hear that. I saw there was like some launch trailer recently for something. But I did not see that at all. Did not hear that. Didn't
What's
see
the
it.
lion?
I'll let Dislikes Puns fill you in. It won't be. It'd be a bit too much to sort of go into, basically. And my 40K stuff's not. I wouldn't be able to do it as eloquently as someone. I haven't even heard of it, so I wouldn't be able to do it as eloquently as that. Fat Steven says Ryan Johnson's head is the hot air balloon in Up 2.
Oh shit! That's the one that got it off the ground, huh?
That's brilliant. That is absolute gold. Magitech Mags for $2 says Disney, LFL Lucasfilm,
Lucasfilm Limited,
is a revolving door mess too. Yeah, they are literally.
Well, and I think you pointed out it's not even really a revolving door, Nate, right? Because if it would be a revolving door, only
they're
if
not
these
replacing them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
pretty much wide open exit door.
Yeah.
The only ones you could. As I said, the only ones you can consider a revolving door would be Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, basically. But yeah.
This is the thing. Like, they don't replace them; they fire, and then the project's done anyway. It's ridiculous. Olaf Van Es says, "Have creative differences with KK." There's the door. Yeah. That is basically it, isn't it? Creative differences. That's it. It's done.
Well, who was that filmmaker that said they would never work for Lucasfilm when they were asked about a Star Wars project? And he said just because. Basically, he was insinuating that, it's just a nightmare to get anything done there. I can't remember who it was now.
Say that again. Who?
It wasn't Edgar Wright, but it was somebody like that. It was somebody in that kind of like level of director. They're like, I would never work for them because you can't get nothing done over there, basically, in so many words. I'm paraphrasing, but like I can't remember who it was.
Josh for $4.99 says Disney's downfall is so entertaining. It is at this point. It is actually entertaining. Yeah, it's not. I'm not like, this is, we need to cancel culture down with blah blah blah. But it's just, it's a mess and it's funny to document. And FYI, so the lion, so this is a Primarch from 40K, basically a demigod of war. So Primarchs are like the sort of upper echelons of Space Marines. Are like the how to phrase it. They're almost like the son of the God Emperor, kind of. That's a layman's term to explain it in some regard. I'm sure someone will hate that as an explanation, but That's my best explanation. That's why I say I can't really do it justice. But basically, they're like the son of the God Emperor, essentially. Anyway, and they sort of have their own cast of Space Marines and like sections and stuff like that. Anyway, there you go. There's my abysmal explanation of all of that. Yeah, Primarch, think of Hercules. Yeah. Right. So, guys, let's talk about what you sort of alluded to already. Next topic, which is Stephen Knight to write a new Star Wars movie after Damon Lindelof, Justin Britt Gibson exit. Now, I think what is perhaps interesting about this is the fact that this was Damon Lindelof's film, right? This was Damon Lindelof's movie.
That's kind of how they were selling it, yeah.
Well, it was. So he was writing it first. So the news story ran, Damon Lindelof is on board writing a Star Wars movie, a trilogy or whatever. Damon Lindelof then brings in Justin Britt Gibson to co-write that project with Damon Lindelof. So they write it together. Then Lucasfilm gets the director, Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, the activist who worked on some Ms. Marvel episodes. So this is, for all intents and purposes, it was Damon Lindelof's film, right? He obviously pitched a script treatment to Lucasfilm in some regard, and they were like, yeah, cool, that's not bad. Go work on a script then. We'll get a director sorted. That's essentially how it would have gone down, right?
Yep.
And then they've gone, nah, creative differences, we're walking away. And they're like, well, we're keeping the director. We're just going to get a new writer on board. So it's a brand new film then, basically. Yeah, it's basically a brand new film. And the writer for this, I don't think is particularly great for this at all, actually. So it's the Peaky Blinders creator. Wait, not writer. That's important. That's important. Okay. So Stephen Knight, who is he? What's he been working on? He is a veteran screenwriter. He launched his career specializing in gritty crime dramas like Dirty Pretty Things, Eastern Promises, and then did The 100-Foot Journey, Allied, and then recently did Spencer.
I don't know any of those.
Spencer's the Princess Diana thing.
Oh.
So, sure, the gritty crime stuff maybe crosses over into Star Wars a little bit, maybe, if you really want to push it. But it's not going to be R-rated. It's not going to be as gritty as you think it's going to be. And certainly not is it going to be... Where's the fantastical elements that you have to have in Star Wars? Where's the space battles? Where's the... obviously we don't know where this was going to go, but I just don't see this being a great fit. I mean, just as an FYI, because I'm sure people will be like, yeah, but he's really good. Yeah, but he's being managed by KK. So is she going to utilize him to the best of his abilities? No, of course not. Thoughts anyway, guys. There's my sort of quick rundown.
No, I think you put it at best as like, this is pretty much a new project now. I mean, unless they're just kind of hanging on to this director because they're afraid to fire him over politics, or they just want to keep him happy. Because otherwise at this point, because Lindelof, what he had said, his whole like diatribe of leaving the project, it was kind of like, okay, somebody wrote that for you. But because he's not that good of a writer. But yeah, that was a joke. But anyway, his whole thing was like, maybe I should not be writing these things and just be watching them.
It's about a cook being in the kitchen, basically. And I said I'd heard from sources that it was creative differences.
That's basically what it sounds like. Yeah.
And when he said that, he was already off the project at that point in time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he was.
So I think you're right. Like, ostensibly, this is basically a new project now, really. It's just a director moving on to... Because I doubt, unless he hangs on to some kind of credit, like for creating the story idea or something like that, then at that point, if his name is not on it at all, then you're right.
Yeah.
Mate. This is a completely new project.
And what's the over-under on this thing ever even happening anyways?
Oh, God. 60-40?
Yeah.
Maybe even less?
Yeah. Well, I think... So that's an interesting point that you raised there, right? And further to your point, Tom, is that if his name isn't attached to this in any way, shape, or form, there's no credits anywhere for like a script treatment idea, a story by, but the director is, it goes to show that the director is just for hire, has no passion in anything that she does, right? Why do I say that? Well, she would have been pitched the script treatment idea, the story, from Damon Lindelof initially, and then she's just like, "Oh yeah, I'll stay on. Who cares?"
Basically, a work for hire situation.
Yeah. So you can almost discount most of her work moving forwards as made for committee stuff, because she won't push back. She'll have no conviction or passion for a project, which matters. She won't push back against it, and maybe that's why KK likes her. Maybe that's why that she's on board, because it's someone they can mold. It's someone they can just use. Hey, point the camera over there. Just go make this film. That's what it sounds like to me. Culture, you look like you want to chime in.
Is the message getting out to the fans? The message that we want to tell?
Well, Nick, that's obviously the goal here. I mean, there was a story drop today in one of the trades about that. But setting all of that aside, you can be all the activist you want to be. You just have to live to what somebody wants you to make. I'm not surprised that they immediately grabbed another writer, because they have been called out by us, the fans, for all the stuff they haven't made and they've announced. I mean, the list is quite long. I mean, we're not even joking.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphic speaks for itself, but there's even more there than that hasn't been made, that wasn't even represented on that graphic by Mr. Roboto. So I look at it and I go, well, the next question is, will this even be made anyway? Because now you're starting back at ground one with maybe a loose concept, maybe not. And I think Tom's right. I mean, a work for hire situation, sure, you've got a lot of different things in play here, but you've got one idea rather than two. You've got a lot that they can play with. I mean, but who wants this? It all comes down to this: who wants a Ray film? Because they stick with that original idea. Who wants to see, bitter, non-emoting, flat performance from, an actress who's capable of much more? Because, if all of a sudden she's more engaging and, is allowed to, have more than 3 facial expressions, she's going to be out of character for the thing that she created in the previous 3 films. I mean, I could go on and on, but I don't see an audience demand for Star Wars 10 Rey's next adventure. I just don't see that.
No way.
Well,
and on top of that, if you go back and look at the different trilogies, the prequel trilogy, it was a whole new cast, characters. Of course, Darth Vader was a part of it, but it was before he became Darth Vader. That didn't happen until the end. And then the original trilogy, all new characters and people. Some of them that, the main one, which was that had to do with Skywalker with Vader and stuff, of course, was there. And then the sequel trilogy, all new characters. You had like 1 or 2 of the main ones, and then so the next one, I just don't think that Rey or any of those people that was just associated with one of the trilogies that doesn't have like a connection other than just meeting one time, one of the OG characters needs to even be in the next trilogy at all.
Yeah. And so going back to what we were saying about variety ragging on Marvel, right? And Disney in general, they do it again here. So we talk about the trades finally having to admit stuff. Earlier in March, Variety reported that separate movies, one shepherding by Patty Jenkins, Kevin Feige, they've been shelved. No longer in development. J.D. Dillard told The Wrap in November that he was no longer developing a Star Wars project. And then they just go off. They just go off. 2019, Game of Thrones. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss walked away. And then in September 2017, Lucasfilm Kathleen Kennedy fired Colin Trevorrow. 3 months earlier, she fired Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Even though the film had completed a fraction. While Gareth Edwards retained directing credits, Rogue One story, blah, blah, he was replaced by Tony Gilroy for extensive reshoots. They're just like, yeah, they're shit, basically.
Yeah, and we had Tim Rose on our one of our videos that we did, who was the actor who lives over in the UK that played the original Admiral Akbar, and then he was Akbar in the sequels, and then of course
didn't he also do the puppetry for Salacious B. Crumb and stuff too, or somebody else? I can't remember now. He did somebody else too, I swear.
He did, I think, one of the it was either Salacious Crumb or it was one of the Max Rebo.
I was gonna say, yeah, because he was one of the puppeteer guys.
Yep. So, but yeah, he was telling us that the Rogue One film that they actually made before Gilroy came in was way better than the film that actually came out.
Well, a lot of that stuff was in the trailer. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and I liked the Rogue One that we got. It was my favorite out of the Star Wars films that Disney's released, even though I had some issues with it, but overall I liked the film. But apparently it was going to be a lot better than it actually was.
Wow.
I have breaking news, a special announcement. Mexican Iron Man would like to announce that he is making his own Star Wars movie. He says since everybody else just has to go out and announce it and they get one, so.
This is true. It's basically, Lucasfilm is a complete joke at this point in time.
Don't you have to actually get down and say, "Oh, Queen Kathy, let me make a Star Wars
the ring"?
Thing. Yeah. I don't think Mike's capable of that kind of bow down, but maybe.
They probably give us better than what we're getting.
That's not hard.
Very true. T-Nail89, aka Dislikes Puns, for $5 says, Nick, in answer to your question, he's a hero of great renown. Big deal in lore, but hard to convey in a short description.
Oh, okay.
So, but he's all, again, that, they control, lead, they're almost like mini kingdoms,
fiefdoms.
They sort of lead mini kingdoms basically, and they're basically the son of the God Emperor. That's the sort of quickest way to describe it. Let's scroll back down because we've got a few super chats to get to. I do know. T-Nail89 for $5 says, Culture Casino, what's this story in the trades you mentioned?
Well, in the Hollywood Reporter today, they talked about heavy ESG investment in these media companies as long as they profess the message.
Oh, God.
Damn it.
Yeah, you can find that story today. It's still on the front page of the Hollywood Reporter.
Just crashed the plane right into the ground.
Is that the one that I sent here earlier?
I think so. Yeah. I covered it this morning in the 6 Minute Daily, but it's one of those. It's one of those infuriating things. I mean, we've said that money's coming in from outside for a lot of these studios via those kinds of investments. Here it is, right here, and there you are.
Huh. Wow.
Mainly we're filming TV messages. So literally, when we're like the message. And people go, "Yo, what are you talking about?" The message.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
God damn.
in the trade. I mean, everybody in our sphere should be pointing at this story, but I just was like, this is not a surprise to any of us. Anyway.
No, of course not. Goodness me.
Told you.
So Disney World's turn to renewable energy is part of a growing trend among large companies as investors seek out companies that stewards of the environment, or that are at least willing to tout their eco credentials. It's a big business with billions of dollars from investors pouring in annually to the tune of $157.3 billion, according to Morningstar, and every major public company in entertainment wants a piece of that pot. And so Disney and competitors like Comcast are building solar arrays to help power their theme parks and offices, while other companies pursue their own eco-friendly efforts. Blah blah blah. Where do they start talking about the other stuff, or do they not? Oh, social responsibility report.
Oh,
social responsibility report. That sounds fun.
No, they don't go out and talk about it directly. Within the confines of this particular article, outside of the headline that you just read, but. You look at the idea where they're talking beyond, obviously, the energy production that they do at Disney with the solar array that's in the shape of Mickey's head. They talk about the fact that just the messaging out there is kind of what they're also looking for. But if you think that sustainable investment, the ESG stuff, it's not just about the solar and junk like that. It's about the messaging and everything else. There's money filtering into these companies because of they're preaching the right thing. And we also have to think that these are all vertically integrated companies that have many different offshoots that can benefit from all of these types of investments from funds, even though they are proven not to actually generate $1 for investors. So there you are.
Well, I think the biggest hilarious element of a lot of this stuff is they talk about emissions and then they use the phrase carbon footprint. Do you know what company coined that?
Couldn't imagine.
Carbon footprint?
Yep.
No,
came out at a specific time, specific company made it.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Big disaster. I'm sorry.
BP.
Oh, BP.
Yeah.
They invented carbon footprint.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know.
Slosh. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
It's such a no one knows it. Literally no one. I can see. I can.
Does it surprise anyone here sitting in this panel?
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is no different than when the cigarette companies used to, do all the.
Hey, you get a clearer T-zone with our brand of cigarette.
Yeah.
I actually went to a little like antique store the other day, and they actually had candy cigarettes and Big League Chew gum there.
Did you?
Yes.
But they still have it. Like, it's not far from the house. Like, I was like, man, I need to come back and get some. So I didn't have my card on.
When I see you, I want a pack of Big League Chew.
All right, I can get you some. They had a sour apple, grape.
I like the grape
and original.
Grape or strawberry
the original's good. I mean, I used to remember being out there on the ball field, either playing center field or catcher, and I'd be chewing big old wad of gum. Sorry,
Mr. H is probably like, I have no idea.
Like, shut up!
I don't know. And we've got a super chat.
What the fuck's that?
So, T Nail says, "Oh, good. I'm sure it'll work this time."
Yeah.
Also, one of you guys, I can hear myself, just as an FYI.
Oh, sorry, that might be me.
All right. It's very off-putting. I hate it.
Can you hear it now?
I didn't have the echo cancellation. No, it's probably me.
There you go. I will say, guys, we've got a great viewership today. We've got 500 people here. So thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up button. Honestly, thank you so much for the, dropping in the stream. If you enjoy this, we do this twice a week. The H-Cast, it's a regular thing. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays earlier this time. Tuesdays a little bit later. It actually starts 40 minutes from now on a Tuesday, basically. But thank you so much, ladies and gents. I do appreciate it. Where are you all from? Let's get you guys involved in the chat. Where are you all from? Sheev Burger says Nintendo is going to make movies with all their big IPs, make a Super Smash Brothers crossover movie, and print money. I mean, they are just going to be printing money and cleaning up. I don't know whether they'll make a Super Smash Bros. Movie. I don't know how that would work, but they absolutely will clean up money anyway. Like, they're just going to print cash. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Fear Sundown has been a member for 1 year. 21 months. Yeah. So thank you so much for that achievement. That's great. That's amazing. Become a member if you want to support the channel and if you want access to members only stream after this stream, in fact.
Look at they're spread everywhere. They're everywhere.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? It's really like, I always like doing that in a stream, always asking where people are from, because it's just interesting to see where everyone is. I mean, we've got people from South Africa, people from California, Maryland, literally just everywhere.
Australia,
Florida, Illinois,
Walnut Creek,
Lebanon,
near Liverpool, Texas, Kansas,
South Africa,
everywhere, Canada. It's great. Like, it's amazing to see where everyone's from. Actually, I've seen 2 people from South Africa. That's epic.
Houston, Texas. My sister lives there in the woodlands.
Norway.
She's seen a Sasquatch.
Look at these amazing.
I don't think so. A lot of deer.
No, let me down. Do you believe in Bigfoot, Nick?
No.
What do you mean no?
Budo Dave stuck in LA
I
traffic. You guys are awesome. I love it.
People from the Netherlands here as well.
I know.
In the city of
It's
Dutch.
just incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Russia.
Russia. Wow.
Epic.
Just to think, it's just weird to think that, like, when I was younger, like, not even, just basically before cell phones were a thing, like, just for me to call to a town that was more than 10 minutes away, it cost money.
Yeah, it was long distance.
That's mad.
And here we are. I'm talking to not just Mr. H, who's across the pond, but Nick and Culture as well, who are in completely different spots in the U.S.
Yeah.
And all you guys
1080p,
out there.
no less.
Yeah, I know. And it's just insane. It boggles my brain. Because I used to be on the radio, and I think about it sometimes. It's like, I don't even stop to think, really, how many people I ever really was broadcasting to at that time. But could have been hundreds, could have been thousands. I don't know. But then I look out and at the numbers we got here, and it's just insane. It's like, I can't believe it. And not only that, they're from everywhere.
It's very humbling, I think. That's what I
Very
that's what
much.
I get.
Very much.
Very, very humbling. So that actually takes us off to our final topic, ladies and gents. So if you want to get your final super chats in, please do it now, because obviously final topic, and then we'll cover the super chat. So please do support the channel. But the final topic, Bob Iger obliterating Disney. Can we get like Mortal Kombat, finish him? Like, coming through there.
My stream deck. Oh, it lets me down. No.
Never mind. So Disney layoffs. There's going to be 3 rounds of layoffs by the sounds of it.
Yep.
And pretty massive stuff. And this is what I said. This is what I was alluding to when I said about how Victoria Alonso was the first domino falling. And I said on Tuesday, like, we knew that these were coming out, but not to the extent that these are. These seem, I mean, people within Disney are literally calling it a bloodbath. That's the quote, a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And so we knew some of this was happening, but not to this extent. And that's what I mean by, the domino falling. This isn't cutting the woke out. This isn't trimming the fat, so to speak, either. This is purely just, in my opinion, purely just a cost-saving method. They don't care about anything else. We've just covered the whole ESG stuff. They want a piece of that pie. They're predominantly funded by the companies, the hedge funds behind that anyway. So, but multiple rounds of cuts, basically. We've got late March, literally next week. And then there'll be one in late April. And then there looks to be another one at some time around that as well. Crazy. Pretty huge. Literally no division is safe. No division is safe at all. They're going to merge TV studios as well. Iger is going to have to make a statement, which I cannot wait to see what that's going to sound like. The division heads have already accumulated their layoff sort of numbers as well. I mean, it's they've got to save like $5.5 billion, $5.5 billion in overall cost savings. It's fucking huge. This is the bloodbath that they're saying about. I mean, Culture, you sound like you want to chime in there, bud.
Well, no, I mean, to me, this is not surprising, but they're not just doing it there. One of the reasons we acknowledged earlier in the stream that they have pushed back a lot of these projects is Iger is notorious for moving things into quarterly expenditures and dragging things out across multiple quarters if he can spread the cost out, and balance EBITDA and all that other stuff, the tech terms that you would use for that, the accounting terms. But he's also trying to do that with promotional budgets for film and television and everything else. So the thing is, I think it's going to hit the employment side the hardest in the entertainment sector, in the television and film stuff, because it's where they are the most bloated. They've been bloated for a long time in those areas with multiple levels of management that do not need to exist. And it's funny, if you think about it, these layoffs are maybe twice as many, maybe 3 times as much as Chapek was wanting. Chapek was targeting 2,400. We're looking at 7,000 plus. We don't even know if 7,000 is the right number.
It could be more than that.
Yep.
Bob,
Chapek got absolutely railed in the media.
Yep.
Absolutely railed in the media for floating the idea of doing cuts.
Yeah, but now that Iger's there and it's now 7,000, I don't see the same backlash towards him. Why is that?
None.
It's weird.
Well, there's no vitriol, and again, it is driven by the agenda. I mean, we talked about it at the time. I know I heard Mr. H talking about it back then, but the reason it was is because Chapek didn't march along, as spouting chapter and verse from the Book of Woke, not reading off about,
Well, that's why they turned on him originally. Remember, like that was the whole thing. Is he said he wanted to get out of politics and all this other stuff, and they're like, well, that gets us right back to the Victoria Alonso thing. She, among a few others in the company, were like, no.
Oh, it's madness.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt you there.
No. I mean, please, go on. I mean, what do you think about all of this, Tom?
We've been talking about it for years. We know what the problem is. They know we know what the problem is. They're never going to acknowledge it. They're just going to continue to do it. And why? Because to them, it's easier. It's when it comes to this kind of stuff, this ESG stuff, I compare it to, and I don't know if Nate will get this or not, but I know Nick and Culture and some of the chat will. Like for years in the 80s and 90s, like it basically destroyed the farms in the Midwest because of these farm subsidy things.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it became this thing where it was easier for them to just get paid by the government not to farm their land, than it was to actually fucking work.
That happened. Now you have a situation. Farm.
Exactly. Now you've got a situation where all these farms are destroyed because of this years and years of this crap, and you've got these big huge facilities now that are doing all the work of those farms, and it's just. It reminds me of that. We've come to this wasteland now where 90% of what comes out, if not more than that, even normies don't understand it completely, but they still wait and see. It's like this thing. They're like, I know something's wrong with it, but I don't like it. Same thing with Marvel, everything else, and South Park spelled it out too. So if it's hitting South Park now, it's hitting some of the other people. You just said it earlier in the cast too, Nate, about the trades are starting to call Disney out, right?
Yeah, well, they're like a year behind, 2 years behind everyone else that's a little bit more tuned into it all, like in terms of their public outcry. Oh, bless. Doggo. I've actually got a doggo down there.
Sorry, I actually have somebody at the door. I'll be right back.
We don't deserve dogs. I say that every time.
Tom has an Amazon package being delivered.
Oh, I go into complete idiot mode because I love dogs so much. Jasper's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Does not care about me at all.
He's like, can you put me down? I was trying to nap. What's going on here, Dad?
No, he wasn't. He was milling around. He's been milling
was
around
he?
for a little while.
My dog's out in her bed, out in the living room, on top of the couch where she likes to lay.
I always sound like a complete idiot. Somebody brings a dog on the screen, I turn into a babbling idiot.
He's funny. He's funny. Everyone always asks where Jasper is. There he is. So yeah, I mean that. But this is the bloodbath. This is, Bob Iger nuking from orbit. Disney in general. We already saw it. We've been saying it for so long. All we're doing now is going, well, there's that puzzle piece we spoke about.
Yeah.
There's that puzzle piece we spoke about. And we talked a week and a half ago now about the first of many when it came to Willow season 2 being cancelled.
Yeah.
And then we saw that with the Marvel shows being permanently delayed, just coming soon. Victoria Alonso being fired. Now this happening. We've been speaking about this for so long. It's like, yeah, obviously. But obviously we have to now put this into the context that we've been speaking about and go, yeah, here you go. Here's the proof. Literally here is the proof of everything we've been discussing this entire time.
Yeah.
Tom, are you back or not? Are you dead?
He's probably it's probably an Amazon package, but
God, I wish my Amazon package they didn't even knock on my door the other day. They just gave it to my neighbor. I'm like, I'm home. What are you doing? They just got an email going, you weren't in. Fucking hell.
I'm sitting right here.
It's really annoying. Anyway, yeah, bloody Amazon.
It is weird. I mean, and a lot of people probably don't want to, especially the media doesn't want to acknowledge just how right we were the entire time, and that's okay.
Nah. But Variety is starting to.
Yeah. Well,
Variety again. There's those 2 articles there They are happy to trash Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel, Disney. It's so funny. They didn't have to list half the things that they did in that article about the Kathleen Kennedy and the creatives leaving the Star Wars projects. It wasn't even relevant. They didn't have to do any of that. They're just like, whatever, we'll do that.
Well, but it kind of warms your heart a little bit.
Oh yeah, but yeah, of course it does. It's funny as hell. Very
And
funny.
look, I'll never get joy out of somebody losing their job. That's an unfortunate reality. I mean, none of us are.
Kennedy.
Well, true, but none of us are monsters.
But these people, these people that get fired from their job, it's not like they're like, oh my god, like I'm going to be out on the street now.
Yeah. They're fired with millions.
Yeah, I mean that they'll be just fine, and a lot of these people that a lot of these woke activists that are getting fired, man, I praise their firing from the hilltops every single time.
Okay, but let's talk about the production assistant that's working on this Star Wars project that gets shit canned, right? I mean,
I agree.
Yeah. The low man on the totem pole stuff. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well, that's unfortunately what will be the bulk of these cuts. We know it will be. That's why I was amazed that they are getting rid of people like Victoria Alonso, because that's a huge person. But yeah, I don't like to see normal people get fired, because normal people are you and I.
Yeah.
They live in the vicinity. They have to do a job, so they go to the biggest employer nearby, and that's not, that's not for lack of conviction or anything like that. That's just you just have to feed yourself, right? Like, it's like people turning their nose up at scrubbing toilets if you have to. If you have to scrub a toilet for work to feed yourself, you scrub a fucking toilet for work to feed yourself. Yeah. It's exactly the same principle here. So I never like to see them get fired. But the head honchos, the people in charge making decisions, stuff like this.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I figured. I didn't think y'all were heartless.
Oh, no, absolutely no, absolutely not. No, but those people, into the ground, dirt, absolute dirt. Tom, you're back now. You got anything further to add to that?
No, I agree with you guys 100%. A lot of these people are the reason that the problems exist, and that's the best way to, get rid of the problems is cutting off some of these bigger people. And that's the thing. She sounds like one of the problems, Alonzo anyway, sounds like one of the problems in the building. So again, I don't think it's going to fix the woke, but it's going to definitely probably help things a little bit. At least there probably won't be as much resistance when they're saying, let's not do that so much.
Yeah. Whilst I've got 530 plus people here, ladies and gents, did you know that there is a live stream channel where we chop all of these videos, these podcasts into clips? So it's in the description box, Missed Age Reviews live archives. Please do head on over and hit subscribe. Trying to get that channel up to 10,000 subscribers. It plods along quite nicely. And if you've ever wondered where these podcasts go, they actually go on that channel to rewatch after the fact. They don't stay on the main channel. So head on over there, hit subscribe in the description box. And also check out everyone's channel here. Again, we've got Nick from Echo Base Network. We've got Culture from Culture Casino. We've got Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark. You'll find them in the description box. Hit subscribe if you like their work. And that rounds out our show.
Wow.
Quite eloquently,
really?
nicely,
Wow.
quickly. Yeah, it's a bit of a... It was a Disney heavy day. There wasn't really any other news. We covered most of the news. Covered most of the news on Tuesday. There's really nothing else. I mean, I was invited to the UK premiere red carpet event at Leicester Square for Dungeons and Dragons.
No.
That was for tonight, but I was unable to get to it. And then also there was a weird issue with tickets. So someone's gone in my place. I kind of owed him a solid for getting me into Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So he's gone there. So I was, but there's not really any other news, to be fair. Again, today I was going to go watch John Wick, but we'll do that tomorrow, so on and so forth. So it's, we sort of round out this. But again, guys, if you want to join in a chilled members only stream, right after this one, members you'll find in the community tab on the channel. You'll find a link. And also Patreons, if you want to become a Patreon, you can have access to that as well. There'll be a Patreon post. Head on over there. I'll be in there un momento, and then we can have a chilled stream for a little bit. Take your questions there as well. But guys, what you got coming up? You got anything going on?
I have the 6-minute daily every weekday. There should be a video out later today. Plus, I'll be doing my review tomorrow on John Wick, so you'll catch that. I'll probably record that late tonight. I've got the ability to stream on 4 platforms now, so you can find me streaming on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and Twitter. Next week, I may add Minds. We'll see. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Nick, chilled stream, mate?
Yep. Yep. Chill stream. No, actually, we might do a chill stream tonight. Not sure, but if not, we got videos scheduled to come out. Me and Coach are going to continue his first time reaction watch through of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We're halfway through season 2.
Okay.
And then our Saturday night live stream this Saturday night at 7 Central, where we'll hit all the Star Wars news and talk about the disaster of what's going on, or the lack of enjoyment we're getting out of Mando season 3 so far.
Yeah, that was bad writing in that last episode. That was terrible.
Mandalorian. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sad time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Tom, what you got coming up, buddy?
Always up to no good as usual. You can find me on Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm sure we got the morning show tomorrow. Andre's away, so I'm going to be pulling double duty. Yeah. So we'll see if we get any videos out this weekend or not.
I'll be there, buddy. I'll be there.
Yeah, I got some pictures of his plane ride over on WhatsApp today.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get too much into the logistics of what he's up to, but yeah, he's on a
No, so I wasn't going to say it. It was just
I didn't say you were, but I would love to share like things, but like
yeah. Well, Tom also has Midnight's Edge After Dark coming up here shortly, so keep
there.
That.
You go.
Maybe.
Okay,
Maybe.
And then after that, Comics Division's channel. I forgot to mention that. I always screw up on Thursdays.
I should be there.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Tonight'll be fun.
I'll be there one day.
Unless I get a bug up my butt and I decide to go to John Wick. But yeah, that's the only thing, Nate, because they asked me about that. I'm like, you guys realize that's like in the middle of his night, right? Literally in the middle of the night.
Oh no, I'm not going to go. I'll go to it one day when I'm done competing.
All right, okay. Well, you've got to show up because Comics is like, we got to get Mr. H on. I'm like,
I will do it. I just got to get this contest out of the way because it's kicking my ass at the moment.
Then we'll have to get you on a Saturday night stream.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah, happily. And just to round it out quickly, Mr. MH became a member as well. So thank you so much. Ladies and gents, absolutely brilliant stream today. Thank you so much. This was great. Lots of great viewer engagement, viewership. Brilliant stuff. If you want to support further, memberships, Patreon, it's all linked in the description box. But from me and everyone else, thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.